Venom has bonded with extremely powerful characters and at times with some bizarre and weak ones. That's why in today's video, we'll look at the power level of Venom and all its hosts. This is a list of characters that Venom has fused with. It's not a list of all the symbiotes that exist like Carnage, Toxin, or the God of Symbiotes and such. That's another list I'm working on, which will also be released on the channel. But today, we'll look at the characters that Venom has fused with, and I'll rank them based on their feats and powers. This way we'll find out which was Venom's most overpowered fusion. This video took a lot of work due to the number of characters I included to make it as complete as possible. So let's get to it. Number 31, Johnny Storm. Let's start with a version that might seem like a great idea in imagination, but in practice, it went terribly wrong. I'm talking about the time that Venom fused with the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. If you know Venom well, you know that one of his biggest weaknesses is fire, and he fused with the Human Torch. There was no way this could work out. This happened in the comic Marvel Adventures of Spider-Man number 24. Reed Richards took the black suit from Spider-Man to study Venom's DNA and understand what was going on. The Human Torch saw the black suit in the lab and thought, hey, I'd look great in black, let me try it on. Then the symbiote bonded with the Human Torch. But it didn't take long for Venom to do anything because the Human Torch activated his powers to see what the black suit would be like with his powers, and boom, Venom ran away from the Human Torch. If it had worked, this could have been a strong fusion, combining the powers of Venom and the Human Torch. But it doesn't work because of Venom's weaknesses, so it ends up being a useless fusion. That's why I'll rank it as the weakest on the list, alright? Not to mention, it was Venom's shortest fusion with anyone. This one won the award for the shortest time bonded with Venom. Number 30, Anne Weying. Indeed, Venom once bonded with Eddie Brock's ex-wife, Anne Weying. When she was severely injured by a bullet, Eddie offered her the powers of the Venom symbiote to heal her. Venom then joined with her, and nerds, we saw the danger of putting Venom on someone seeking revenge, as many men had done horrible things to her. She went after all of them and killed them, leaving her kill count very high. After Venom left, she deeply regretted what she had done, and eventually preferred to die from all the harm that she had caused. She was quite dangerous, but she was with the symbiote for a short time, and she was an ordinary human without extra abilities, so I'll rank her here. Number 29, Squirrel Girl. Here we have Squirrel Girl from Marvel. In an alternate universe stories, she became a Venom host for a short period, just one page to be exact. She realized that the symbiote was evil and quickly got rid of it. However, at the time, she had all of Venom's powers plus her own powers, which are associated with squirrels. So she has a larger form than ordinary humans, can make giant leaps, has superhuman speed, great agility and reflexes. She also has claws, a strong tail, a healing factor, and communicates with squirrels. So yes, compared to an ordinary human host, she ranks higher. Number 28, Wilson Fisk. In an alternate future in the year 2061, there is a Spider-Man and also a Kingpin. This Wilson Fisk found the Venom symbiote and conducted experiments to create sort of an organic technological symbiotic suit that could be controlled by the mind. He invested a lot of time and money into it, and it worked. Eddie Brock and Spider-Man of this universe thought the suit was dangerous and needed to be destroyed, so Wilson Fisk killed Eddie Brock. After that, he was able to transform into Venom at any time and have all the symbiote's powers. He chased Peter Parker through the city and beat him up. In the end, Spider-Man managed to win by using a torch and stabbing it into Wilson Venom. As we know, the symbiote has a significant weakness to fire, so Peter's plan worked, but he was severely injured and nearly died, so we can't underestimate this version of Venom. After all, Wilson Fisk is a formidable opponent. But since he lost and Fisk doesn't have great powers, I'll place him here. Number 27, Nick Fury. Even director Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't left out. In Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated series, Nick Fury gets taken over by the symbiote and becomes a version of Venom. But here, Nick Fury wasn't just a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, he was also a super soldier. That's right, Nick received a variation of the super soldier serum. In addition to all of his experience, training in combat and espionage skills, he also had the powers of the serum, such as super strength, enhanced reflexes, increased endurance, and accelerated healing. And with the symbiote bonding with him, he also had Venom's powers. He was quite formidable. Too bad this fusion lasted only a short time in the animation. But I believe Nick Fury with the Super Soldier Serum and Venom would have taken down Kingpin with that symbiote suit, so I'll place him here. Number 26. Jamie Madrox. A mutant who can duplicate himself at will, creating multiple clones of himself, found a cave with the symbiote, and Venom bonded with him. Things went crazy because he had Venom and also the power to multiply, so he started creating many copies of himself and Venom. This happened in the Old Man Hawkeye comics. Hawkeye alone couldn't handle so many Venoms and needed the help of his partner and several others. With many explosive arrows, he managed to take out a bunch of clones. But it was only with the dinosaur that showed up there that the problem was really solved, as the dinosaur ate the last remaining Venom. If one Venom is troublesome, imagine the power to multiply at will. This fusion was formidable, but it still wasn't able to defeat Hawkeye and his friends, who weren't even that powerful. They just used their heads and some strategies better. So I'll place Multimo Man with Venom here in this position. After all, he was defeated and couldn't beat the team there. Number 25. Flash Thompson. This one is quite famous. He's the Flash Thompson who used to bully Peter Parker in school. When he grew up, he joined the army and became a brave soldier. After losing his legs in a mission in Iraq, he was chosen for the Rebirth 2.0 program, the one with the super soldier experiments. But instead of the serum, he would undergo experiments with the captured Venom symbiote. Flash Thompson became Agent Venom, working on missions for the government. Later, he was even chosen by Captain America to join the Secret Avengers. He used the symbiote for much longer than most characters on this list, and he was also an excellent soldier in the army, making him quite powerful. Not to mention, the weapons he created at his disposal, along with the powers of Venom granted him. In my opinion, he could defeat all the previous ones on this list. Number 24. Frank Castle. Frank Castle has bonded with the Venom symbiote more than once. In an alternate universe, from the What If comics, for example, Venom bonded with the Punisher instead of Eddie Brock, and he created different weapons that fired real bullets, leaving a pile of bodies in his wake. The symbiote was also trying to take over the Punisher's body, leading to a mental battle for control. The Punisher threatened to kill himself, and the symbiote if Venom kept trying to take control. Venom then backed off and allowed the Punisher to remain in charge. That shows the determination of Frank Castle. He even had wings and was defeating everyone with the Punisher's usual feats, plus Venom's powers, making this fusion extremely dangerous. Although Agent Venom went into the military and is experienced, Frank Castle has far more feats in the comics and was also a more highly trained soldier. So between them, I place the Punisher Venom ahead. Number 23. Luke Cage. Marvel's impenetrable hero also ended up with the Venom symbiote in the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. Here Luke tries to remove Venom from his friend Nova and ends up unprotected, so Venom bonds with him. He only had the symbiote for a short time, but he caused a lot of trouble for the team of various heroes there. After all, he became even more impenetrable, with even more monstrous physical strength, given that those are Luke Cage's powers. But this version ultimately lost to Iron Fist, who, with his mystical powers in his fist, removed the symbiote from Luke. Number 22. Danny Rand. We have the next Venom host in our video, Iron Fist, who also had the symbiote in his body in the same Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. When Iron Fist removes the symbiote from his partner Luke Cage, the symbiote grabs onto Iron Fist and bonds with him. With this, Iron Fist Venom starts fighting in a kung fu style, and with his mystical powers in his fists, becomes a very powerful version. However, Iron Fist has a well-trained mind, and manages to deliver a strong punch to the ground, releasing energy and breaking the bond with Venom. This version is quite on par with the previous Luke Cage version, but since I believe Iron Fist is more trained, I've placed him ahead in the ranking. Number 21. Gwen Stacy. Do you know Spider-Gwen, the Gwen Stacy who became Spider-Woman? Well, Venom has also used her as a host. She took on a sinister and much more violent appearance, defeating anyone in her path while trying to find out who put her father in the hospital. She has all the Spider-Man powers like super strength, super agility, is very intelligent, can climb walls, and has the famous spider sense. And with Venom, she became even more dangerous. She deserves this position. I believe she stands on par with Spider-Man, as she is one of his versions from another universe, Earth 65. Number 20. Peter Parker. It couldn't be any different here, right? Since, as I mentioned, Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen have the same powers, and Venom, along with Spider-Man, has done great things. Venom and Peter Parker have been both allies and enemies, and since Spider-Man had the symbiote for a longer time and achieved more with it, I place him ahead of Spider-Gwen and all the other previous characters. There was an adaptation of this version of Spider-Man in Tobey Maguire's third film, where Spider-Man wore the black suit. Number 19. Venom Superior. Nerds, I don't know if you know this, but Dr. Octopus ended up being trapped in Peter Parker's body and became Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe. He used Spider-Man's identity to become a superhero, and so on, and this version became known as the Superior Spider-Man. During this time, he encountered Venom, which bonded with him, creating the Superior Venom, a monstrous version of Venom that combines traits of Venom, Spider-Man, and Dr. Octopus, such as multiple arms. This version fought against several Avengers at once, and was managing to hold its own. He even defeated some of them, not to mention that this is a combination of 3 characters, so I place him above regular Spider-Man. Number 18. T'Challa. The King of Wakanda has also been a Venom host in some of the stories. The most famous one was in the Venomverse comics, where several heroes bonded with Venom, and Black Panther was one of them. These Venomverse characters weren't explored much, but we see a darker version of Black Panther with even bigger claws, and Venom in his body gained increased fire resistance, thanks to the adamantium in Black Panther's suit. I placed him here in this position because, well, we're talking about one of the greatest heroes of all time, not to mention that he has all the powers of the heart-shaped herb given to him, plus Venom's powers now. Number 17. Captain America. In the same Venomverse reality, Captain America was one of the heroes who also received Venom in his body. He was the leader of all, and traveled through the Marvel multiverse recruiting other heroes who had also bonded with Venom in their alternate realities. Beside that, he wasn't explored much, but yes, he was significantly more powerful than the original Captain America. He was stronger, faster, more resilient, and had a shield with symbiotic parts. Given the feats of both characters and now combining them, I believe this version deserves this position in the ranking. Number 16. Eddie Brock. The reason for placing Eddie Brock as Venom in this position above so many characters is that Eddie spent the most time with the symbiote. So even though Eddie doesn't have additional powers, he and Venom are the perfect duo. They have learned many things together, achieved many feats, and defeated several strong characters throughout their stories. They've been villains, anti-heroes, and heroes. By the end of the King and Black saga, they became the most powerful symbiote of all. So he's impressive. I'll place him here. Number 15. TRex Venom. In the Old Man Logan and Old Man Hawkeye comics, we meet the T-Rex, a dinosaur from Marvel's Savage Lands. One day, this T-Rex ended up eating one of the James Madrox clones that was possessed by Venom. I mentioned this when talking about Multiple Man. So, the symbiote that was in this clone bonded with the T-Rex, resulting in a bizarre version of Venom Tyrannosaurus Rex, which was chasing Hawkeye and Wolverine. He didn't have many feats and appeared only briefly in the comics, but look at this monster! What could the previous characters on this list do against such a large beast? And this giant monster was only stopped when Marvel's Black Bolt arrived and said stop. Then the beast was completely destroyed. But we're talking about Black Bolt, so there wasn't much that could be done. And I think the T-Rex Venom deserves this position. Number 14. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, there was a story when all the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy became Venom together. Since it was a brief moment and they weren't explored much, I decided to put them together here in this position. In this story, the alien was returning to his home planet, Clintar, but encountered the team along the way. The Guardians managed to capture him, but they only trapped the symbiote in a kind of jar. It ended up escaping and infecting Groot, who even said, "I'm Venom." Eventually, it also infected Rocket and Drax. The skill levels of these characters are practically the same, only Groot is stronger, and since Groot is virtually immortal, has a healing factor, and monstrous strength, I place them here. Number 13. Ben Grimm. The Thing goes head to head with the Hulk in the comics. He's incredibly strong and resilient, and he adds Venom powers to that. We have a giant, tough symbiote. He appeared very briefly, just during a few pages of the comic. He was fighting several heroes at the same time and giving them a lot of trouble. Even Doctor Strange was involved, and it was tough to hold the big guy down. This was an alternate reality, and since he wasn't explored further, he can't be placed higher on the list. But since he gave several heroes a hard time, I'll leave him here. Number 12. Nova. Nova, Marvel's space police officer, was also attacked by Venom in the animation, and ended up being possessed by him. We got a sinister version, but it was also explored very briefly. Nova is one of Marvel's most powerful characters as well. He has super strength, super speed, can fly, shoot energy blast, has a healing factor, and is highly resilient. Imagine all that plus Venom's powers. Since I believe Nova is more powerful than most of the previous characters on this list, a fusion of him and Venom deserves this position. Number 11. Deadpool. Deadpool has been possessed by Venom several times. On one occasion, Venom actually chose to leave Deadpool because he couldn't handle the mercenary's craziness. In another universe in the What If comics, Deadpool also merged with Venom, becoming Venompool, and ended up killing all the Earth's heroes to be the only hero. So yes, he's quite sinister. After all, he has Deadpool's abilities, like an absurd healing factor and all of Venom's powers. This Venompool even wields Thor's hammer and Captain America's shield, showing that he truly defeated both heroes and is extremely powerful. That's why I think he deserves this position. Oh, and there was another Venompool in the Deadpool Kills Deadpool comics, where there was a war between various alternate versions of Deadpool himself. Number 10. X-23. In the Venomverse universe, which I mentioned before, an alternate version of X-23 ended up having the Venom symbiote merged into her body as well. So in addition to all the powers that the Weapon X program gave her as a clone of Wolverine, she gained the abilities of Venom. I place her here for two reasons. She has a sinister ferocity, and with the bloodthirsty symbiote, she becomes unstoppable. Additionally, she has adamantium and an incredible healing factor, which makes her practically immortal. Number 9. Wolverine. In various stories, Venom is merged with Logan as well. A famous instance was in the Old Man Logan comics, an alternate universe. We got to see a bit of the ferocity of this Wolverine. He easily defeated Archangel from the X-Men, and also took down Bruce Jr., who's one of Hulk's children in the comics. The fusion enhanced all of Wolverine's powers, his healing factor improved, and his resistance, strength, and agility increased as well. Combining everything, this Wolverine becomes practically immortal and much more ferocious. Number 8. Vlad Dracula. Yeah, nerds. In Marvel, there's also a version of Dracula, the legendary king of vampires and immortal enemy of the Avengers. In the famous animation Avengers Assemble, Dracula merged with the Venom symbiote because Venom would grant Dracula immunity to sunlight, allowing him to walk in daylight. Additionally, it provided him with other powers such as increased strength, endurance, speed, and more. He ranks lower on this list because he's the king of the creatures of the night. He's a sorcerer capable of casting various spells, has immortality, a healing factor, the ability to fly, manipulate the weather and elements to some extent, hypnotize people, has superhuman reflexes, and several other vampiric abilities. He's a formidable villain who always gives the Avengers a hard time, and with Venom, he deserves this position. Takes the whole team to stop him. Number 7. Hulk Venom. In various stories, Venom is also merged with the Hulk. One example is in Hulk and the Agents of Smash, where Venom possesses the Hulk, resulting in one of the most powerful versions of both the Hulk and the Green Goliath. Venom abandoned its previous host, Eddie Brock, for a stronger host, the Hulk. The punch from this Venom is incredibly strong, and the resistance becomes even more insane. As it combines all the powers of Venom, I believe this version deserves a place above several other characters. Number 6. Carol Danvers. In the comic Siege, Captain Marvel was bonded with Venom, creating a version of Venom with Captain Marvel's cosmic powers. She on her own is already extremely powerful, as seen in her comic feats and in the MCU. With the symbiote's powers added, she becomes even more formidable. However, this version was not explored much and appeared only briefly in the comics. Still, I place her here in this position, ahead of several others, because we know what she would be capable of. Number 5. Thor. In the What If universe, there is the Thor Venom version, and the best part is that this Thor, even with Venom, was still worthy of lifting Mjolnir, which makes this version even more powerful. After all, we're talking about the God of Thunder. And in the comics, Mjolnir, by itself, has several additional powers. He was only stopped when Black Bolt arrived and separated Venom from Thor with his sonic scream. Another time Thor merged with Venom was in the Guardians of the Galaxy animation, where the symbiote invaded Asgard and bonded with Thor. We don't have many feats from this character because he appears very briefly and wasn't extensively explored, but we know that combining the powers of these characters, this version deserves this position. Number 4. Stephen Strange. In a power level list, when we talk about Doctor Strange, will certainly be among the most powerful, and this will be no different here. I'll place him in the 4th place with his Venomverse version. He was responsible for gathering other Venoms from different realities, and his appearance was sinister. As he was the leader of all of this and possesses the powers of the Sorcerer Supreme, he could defeat all the previous characters on this list using his dark magic. Additionally, with Venom, he gains the abilities that the Sorcerer Supreme did not previously have, such as enhanced resistance, healing factor, and much more. An incredibly powerful version, and if it had been explored more, it would certainly have grand achievements. He deserves to be here. Number 3. Ghost Rider. The version of the Venom with Robbie Rey's Ghost Rider is impressive. Here, Venom possesses the Ghost Rider and merges with the Spirit of Vengeance to take over Robbie's body. Now, 3 beings live in this body, and the powers of this creature are unimaginable, as we're talking about the Ghost Rider, a divine demonic being with various cosmic powers. This version also has immunity to flames, which is the greatest weakness of symbiotes along with sound. This version bypasses that weakness and the symbiote is constantly on fire, making it extremely powerful and a sinister version. After all, it's practically without weaknesses and immortal. Additionally, it can use its flaming tongue to devour the souls of its prey, and even suck out souls with the Penance Stare, a skill that references the Penitence Stare. For this rank, this version deserves to be 3rd place. Number 2. Venom, Red Hulk, and Ghost Rider. One of the most outrageous, bizarre, and overpowered fusions is hard to top. Here you have the infernal powers of the Ghost Rider, removing the Venom's weakness, with the immortality of the Ghost Rider, the healing factor of the Red Hulk and Venom, control over infernal fire, creation of things with its symbiotic tissue, and the absurd physical strength of the Red Hulk, among other abilities. This character has it all. Facing any of the other ones on this list, I'd choose this one for defense. Now you might ask, which character would be ahead of this fusion? Number 1. Galactus Venom. That's right, Venom has fused with Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, an essential being in the Marvel Universe, an ancient and super powerful cosmic entity. If you know Galactus and his powers, you understand why this version deserves the top spot. None of the characters on this list could face him, and even combining several from this list might not be enough to defeat this being. This version appeared in the comics, but it wasn't real. It was an illusion Spider-Man saw. The symbiote didn't truly merge with Galactus in the Marvel comics, but since the Marvel multiverse is infinite, and we got a glimpse of what this version might look like through Spider-Man's illusion, we can only imagine this version exists in some alternate reality. And well, even though this is not real, this version appeared, so I decided to validate it for our video. Obviously, as an illusion, it doesn't have the actual powers this fusion would have. But imagining this version, my friend, with the Devourer of Worlds driven by Venom's bloodlust, just step aside. But these are all the characters who have bonded with Venom that I could find by exploring various multiversal realities. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you disagree with the rankings of any of the characters. Send this to a friend who might enjoy the video, and help us reach the top of nerd YouTube scene. I'm counting on you.